Okay, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to look at a basic introduction to hyperlapses using the DJI Mini 5 Pro. So if you didn't know, a hyperlapse is just a sequence of photographs taken at regular intervals which are then combined together to make one short cinematic sequence. So it has the effect of taking a longer period of time and condensing it into a few seconds. Now obviously you can just go in and record one massive bit of footage and then speed that up in post to give you the desired results. And in some cases that is ideal. But in other cases, hyperlapse is the better option. So you've got two types of lapses. The first one is a time lapse, and that's where the drone stays in one specific spot and takes a number of photos every few seconds and then puts them together into one bit of cinematic footage. And then you've got a hyperlapse where the drone is moving, taking a photo every few seconds and then combining that into the footage. So the difference between the two is that in one the drone is static and in the second the drone is moving. So hopefully by the end of this video you will have enough information to go out and be able to fly the drone using hyperlapse in the right mode, in the right situations. So once you go into the app, you're going to see you've got four options of hyperlapse. You've got free, circle, course lock and waypoints. Now they all work in the same way in respect of the fact that they move at a specific speed, and then they also take photos at a timed interval with the minimum being 2 seconds. The only difference between the four is the movement that the drone actually makes. Now when you do a time lapse, you need to specify the amount of time that you want the final bit of footage to be in seconds. You also need to specify the speed that you want the drone to travel at and the interval between the photos. Now that are part of the settings you do need to consider. And the first one is the interval between the photos. Now for me, between 2 and 4 is ideal. You don't really want to go up any higher than that because the drone is constantly traveling and you're going to have it too jarring in between movements. So if you're filming something like people, 2 seconds is great. If you want to do something like clouds, 4 seconds, but I wouldn't really go any faster than that. Next, you're going to have the length or the duration of the final bit of footage. Now, obviously, the longer the bit of footage, the more battery life it's going to take because the more photographs it's going to take. So you need to bear that in mind when you are flying, so you've got enough battery life to complete the full mission. If you don't, the drone will just make a video of whatever it's been able to capture up until that point. And like I said, you've got speed, so the slower the speed, the more dramatic the effects. Also, you want to do the footage in the highest resolution you can. So always go for the 4K option. Plus you've got the regular things you need to bear in mind, which is going to be keeping the drone within line of sight, making sure there's enough room for the drone to complete its mission, and making sure that you've got enough battery life for it to complete it as well. Now you can use ND filters as well if you want to add motion blur to whatever it is you're filming. So once the time lapse has been completed, the drone is then going to put all those images together and it's going to create the one single file ready for you. But it can also save the photos individually, either in JPEG or RAW. So if you want to create your own time lapse, then you can. And obviously if you save the images in RAW, you've got more information if you're going to go into something like Lightroom to create a better time lapse. But in my experience, I've generally found for things like social media or for general use, letting the drone and the software handle everything is more than adequate. And just so you know, I'm not sponsored, so if you could do the like and subscribe thing, try and get me up to 1,000 subscribers, that would be great. And my wife is starting to come around to the idea that it may be worth me while doing this. So with free, you control the movement of the drone yourself, so you fly it as normal, but then it takes the photos at that specified interval. The only time I ever use this is when I'm trying to film something static. I don't really see the point in trying to do a hyperlapse with it because you're not going to get any nice smooth footage because the drone's going to be jerking too much all over the place. So it's only really useful if you are filming something which is staying in one place, like say the tides coming in and out or clouds, that type of thing, then you want to use free. Now using a hyperlapse is not going to be ideal for every situation. Now when it comes to doing a circle, as the name suggests, the drone is just going to circle around an object. But one thing you need to bear in mind is the speed that the drone is traveling. So say for example, the drone is traveling at 2 meters per second, and the entire footage is going to last say for 5 seconds and take 250 photos. It may be that the drone is only going to travel halfway around the circle. Whereas if the drone was traveling twice as fast at say 4 meters a second, then it's going to complete the actual circle itself. So don't think that just because you select in a circle, the drone is going to complete a full circle. It's all going to be dependent on the speed and the size of the circle around the object that you're filming. And this is exactly what I did on this bit of footage, where the speed was too slow, so it only actually completed half a circle. One of the things you need to bear in mind the circle is the subject that you're filming. Now what I found, if you're doing something like say traffic on a roundabout, it's pointless because the drone is moving at say 2 meters a second, but the traffic is also moving, and that means they're going to be moving at too higher speeds to get any nice smooth footage. So if you are doing something like traffic, you are better off using a traditional time lapse where you just record something and then speed it up. And this is an example of what I did on my Mini 4 Pro using that method. This wouldn't have been possible using Hyperlapse. Now I've done a separate video on waypoints, and this is basically where you fly your drone to one point, click on the plus icon, and that's going to lock in that position, height and gimbal tilt of the drone. Fly it to another section, pressing on the plus sign again, and that's going to lock in the second location, and then carry on doing this. And then once it's completed, the drone is going to fly back to the first one and film those points in order. Now, using waypoints does allow you to set up complex shots, but for me, I don't really tend to use it a great deal. For me, the best one is course lock. So with course lock, you launch the drone and you set it on a specific heading. You lock that heading in, and then once you press go, the drone is going to carry on along that heading in a straight line. It's not going to deviate. And that's great if you're doing things like moving clouds or you're going along a beach, because you know the drone is going to go accurately in one direction and keep everything nice and centered for the entire bit of footage. Regardless of if it's blowing from left to right, you're still going to get a nice, smooth bit of time lapse. Now with course lock, you can also use it with a point of interest. So as the drone is going along, it'll travel in a straight line on the set heading, but the actual drone itself can rotate and film the point of interest for you. Okay, so as I said, this is just a really basic introduction to doing hyperlapses on the Mini 5 Pro. If you did find it useful, please do the like and subscribe thing. If you've got any comments or questions, let me know below. And if there's anything you want to see in relation to the DJI Mini 5, the Mini 4, the Neo, or the Hover X1 Pro or Pro Max, also let me know, and I'll do my best to oblige with that. And I'll catch you again next time. Thanks very much.